Welcome back to Griffin Indiana 22 on Farming Simulator 22 for episode 5 with me, MrSealyp. It's 4:30. A couple of contracts are now done. We're up to 120,000. I'm going to head up to Webb's scrapyard. It's getting started. Well, we'll start to get dark, but I want to have a look round before we move into October. A lot has changed in the last 24 hours since I last did an episode on here. The death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II and the new reign of King Charles III. It's very strange. I've never considered myself a royalist per se, in that, you know, I don't go out to every event waving flags and that kind of thing. However, it's been an integral part of my entire life. Queen Elizabeth II has reigned since 1952, so since I was born, it's always been there. It's always been part of the national anthem and all the things we do. And it feels very strange. I guess for anyone, when her father died and she became queen, it's an odd thing. 70-year reign, longest reign of any monarch in the UK. 96 years old, and it's don't know, it's weird. Also, I was thinking about everything that has the royal seal or her royal seal. ER with the 2 in the middle of it, Elizabeth Regina, Regina being Latin for Queen, that everything will change gradually now to, well, it should do, to CR for Charles Rex, Rex being King in Latin, and it'll have a 3 between it. So things like postboxes, currency, stamps, uniforms, military uniforms, police uniforms, the national anthem will change. Government buildings that have got the Elizabeth Regina logo on it. It's a weird one. It kind of we're watching all the footage and stuff yesterday, and it leaves you feeling very kind of numb. I don't think it's a feeling I ever thought I would feel. It's odd. You know, I don't know. It's very, like I say, it's very strange to explain. So yeah, God save the King. It's yeah, well, anyway, just thought I'd mention it while we were starting the video. So, we are here at Webb's scrapyard. I'm going to go and knock on the door, ask if we can have a look around, see what's here. I don't know what's going to be here. It's just going to be interesting to have a look around. Bear with me 1 second. I can already see as we come in. Old John Deere 710. And there is stuff everywhere. Bear with me. We have got the green light. Let's have a look around. Now, I've already spoken to Mr. Webb, and I've said that we have. Oh, actually, you know, there's me saying we have. I don't know if we have. Have we still got availability? We've got the Kubota R640 for 35 grand available there, 53% off. That's a bargain. Just trying out my negotiation skills in case we see something we like. It has also been, a lot of people have messaged to say, if you're going to go down that route, why don't you wait until the tractor comes up, a second-hand tractor, you can put a front loader on. That's a very good point. Absolutely, why not? I could do that. What we got? Old trucks, fire trucks, workshop. Oh, an old harvester, look. What else have we got? Anything worth the salvaging? Oh, digger. Isn't it weird? I know they're excavators, but when you're growing up, when I was a kid, it was always, you had dump trucks, you had diggers, and you had bulldozers. You know, that was the words you kind of knew. It was like, oh, digger. Not that we need one or can afford one, but there's a digger. How cool is that? What else have we got? Oh, it's an old farmhall. Old farmhall at the back. What's that behind it? Apparently it's Willie's. Whoever Willie is. Oh man. That's a bit better than a bicycle. So I've got a trailer hitch. It has. Not sure we have any use for the farmhall at the moment. Can't put a front loader on it. It's got very low horsepower, but oh, that Jeep. That's pretty cool. Probably need a bit of air in those tyres. I'm pretty sure, if my history serves me correctly, the Series 1 Land Rover was based off the Willys Jeep after World War II. I can't remember what the brothers' names were now. Was it no, I want to say Mitchell, but that's not right, is it? One was in the RF, the other one, I think they were both farmers, but one had been in the RF. Was it Out Angle Seaway? I'm going to have to check my facts on this. And they made the first prototypes. It was to be a farm vehicle. I mean, initially the Series 1 Land Rover based off of this, but they put the steering wheel in the middle, just like a tractor would be, because it was what it was going to be used for, like a tractor on a farm. The original ones were all painted in ex-RAF colours. It was loads of paint left over from World War II. So the different paint schemes that the Spitfires, Hurricanes, all those kind of things had, was what they painted them in. I'm sure it was based off the Willys Jeep. Like I say, I'll have to check that, but there's metal and wood and old wheel loader. What have we got further around? Can we open these? Is there anything in these? No. Oh. So it's not a... that comes under wheel loaders, doesn't it? It's not a skid steer. It's got a bucket on it, but I suppose with pallet forks or bale spikes, I wonder if a bag handler would fit on that. They'll need a bit of love by the look of it. Bit of a wash, bit of TLC. Okay. This is cool. Can I open this? No. Ah, do I see that I'm torn, do I? Now I know that's there. I'm not so worried about the Kubota. But that Jeep, that's really that's piqued my interest, to say the least. Okay, well, we might come back. It's cool. Now, as I know, I will say it, you probably won't find Webb's scrapyard if you're farming in the area. I did say to Mr. Webb I would just head off once I'd had a look around. If there was anything I was interested in, I would give him a knock. I might well do. I can give that some thought. Let's get back on the bicycle. I'm going to head back to my motel. In the morning, we'll look at contracts available. Just thinking, if I can earn a little bit more money, maybe we could put an offer on. I suppose we could buy the wheel loader and the Jeep, couldn't we? Thank you to Jeremy, who said every time he sees me riding the bicycle, he just keeps in the Benny Hill theme. That's very kind of you, thank you. Oh, the other thing was, I have spoken to the mayor again. I speak to the mayor a lot. I didn't mean to cause any offence, but the mayor's middle name begins with a J. So it wasn't just a farmer, it's a J farmer. In case you hadn't already guessed that. I have been talking to AJ Farmer. about the local area, the community, and I said about the silo charging you for storage, and he said it already does. At midnight, you'll get charged for whatever you've got stored now. I didn't know that. I do now. So yeah, what we've got in there at the moment: 20,000 litres of sorghum, 18,000 litres of oats, 43,000 litres of potatoes. We've got 38 silage bales. I'm seriously considering, again, if I get some work tomorrow in the morning or some point tomorrow, buying one of these plots. I think these ones were 29 grand, weren't they? If we go and check on the old mappage, we're just here. 29,808, 39,112. So we could buy one of those. 29,952, just over the other side of the railroad. Just thinking, because there's two here, if I bought one, I could buy the next one. I was thinking of leasing the farm, but again, in the vein of doing everything on hard mode, is that too easy? Is that too, you know, leasing an already established farm? I've got the potential now. I could buy that plot, or that plot and that plot, set up a sort of a farm, a basic farm, and gradually build up as I go. And there's this plot opposite, which has got this barn on it already, which I could demolish the barn and put a new barn up, but that gives me a few plots here that I could work with. Access to manure. I have always also said as well, I'm thinking about, because I said about Frey Produce and Frey Farms in Illinois, and they do pumpkin and watermelons and I mean, tons of stuff. They do all sorts of fruit juices and smoothies and things like that. And they've got a distribution centre out in Poseyville about running a greenhouse, maybe 1 or 2 greenhouses doing watermelons. Or I could do one with melons and one with watermelon, maybe. And then get them collected by Frey Farms. So I could get a deal with Frey Farms. They could take them away and we can make a bit of money doing watermelon, something I haven't done, and it fits the area really nicely as well. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking. So I just put it in front of the car again. Ooh, I did. Quick, pedal faster. So I'll see you in the morning. Into October. And fingers crossed we've got some more contracts available. Yeah, I'm thinking one of those plots. Greenhouse. What am I going to need for that though? I'm going to need seed, water and manure. Manure I can buy next door from the livestock market, can't I? Ooh, there's a thought. Okay, see you in the morning. I'm really annoyed. Just got into October. I set my alarm for 5 AM, woke up at 5 AM, and there were a load of contracts. There was a fertilising contract, there was a weeding contract with a mechanical weeder, there was harvesting contract. As I went to click on them, they all disappeared. Like, okay, I only went from September into October. How did they all vanish so suddenly? But the one that did remain, cotton harvest. But I have a really big problem with this. I don't know how this is going to work. I'm not sure if this is something that will need to be rectified. Let's just say that, because it's saying I've got to take it to Mount Vernon, Illinois. The problem is we're going to have bales. I don't know how many bales we're going to have. We're going to have bales. One, how am I going to load them onto the train? Because I don't have anything for loading. They haven't given me anything. Got that. But somebody also messaged me to say if you get a baling contract to do silage bales, and if you, I assume the person did this, put the bales on the flat cars and sent it off, it didn't accept the contract. So they had to shred all the bales and they had to go in as loose product silage, but you can't do that with cotton. So I've just got to hope that I can put the cotton bales on the flatbed, on the flatbeds of the train. I don't know. The other thing the mayor said was they are in communication and talks with the railroad company to see if they can get the railroad cars reorganised on as they come through for farmers locally for loading and unloading to make life a little bit easier. The only downside to that is it could involve having to start something new, which I don't want to have to do at all. Anyway, we are going out to think it's 16. I think it's filled 16. I don't even, how much did I didn't even say, how much did the contract pay out? Didn't even look. Is that all? Oh, okay. That's even more worrying. I thought, oh yeah, cotton, big payout. If I get a bale left, potentially it will be, but then the way contracts work, I don't know. The problem is, if it doesn't take them in bale form, this could be an absolute disaster, couldn't it? What do I do? I mean, I suppose I'll get fined, but I'm still, how am I going to load them on? So I'm still, in my mind, like, okay, what do I do here? And also it means I'd have to stack them all up actually by the, oh, we'll use the ramps actually. If I stack them all there, and then we are going to need to load them. We're going to need something to put them on, unless I can unload them onto the flat cars. That's not going to work, is it? I might do. Okay, while I'm here, you know what? I've made a decision overnight as well. I'm going to buy one of these plots. I think we're going to buy this one here first. So, let's do that. Our first plot of land that we own. Going to go for that one, 29,808. Cool. This is mine. Which means I can start bringing, if I want to, I can bring my bales over and stack them there. We have to look at getting some kind of building. I suppose I can start with the tent again, but again, why? If I've got the motel just there and I've got my bike, potentially a Jeep if I buy the Jeep. But we need some kind of barn building, something like that. Yeah. Okay, well that's that bit done anyway. We've got some new land. Let's get this cotton harvest done and see what happens. I'm very... I don't know what we'll get for the cotton. I'm just thinking if it doesn't work, we'll have to take the hit on what it's going to charge us for loss of contract and then sell the cotton and hope we make more on the cotton sale than we lost in the fine. Would that work? It might do, mightn't it? I honestly don't know. The other thing as well is, what do we do trailer-wise? I am still thinking about maybe trying to apply for the title on that trailer, the abandoned trailer, but that can take 6 months to come through. I mean, I can use it, I think, but it can take time to come through. I think it was more the case if I leased the land, then I kind of had access to it because it was there. Because I'm not leasing it. I suppose what I could do, I could lease the land to get access to the machinery. So rather than actually live up there, rather than use the facilities, so to speak, I could, it would give me access. So technically then I'm leasing the trailer, but then wouldn't it be better if I just lease my own trailer? It's all ideas, it's all just stuff I'm mulling over at the moment. Something worth trying anyway. Right, so let's go and get the harvester itself. I tell you what, considering the rest of the contracts that have paid out quite well, the harvesting ones, especially on bigger fields, that's a fairly big field for cotton, and it doesn't pay out that well. I'm not misremembering, or that's definitely, yeah, 9,000. And that's going to be less than that because I borrowed the equipment. It's in my frenzy of, as all the contracts were disappearing off that screen, I just clicked on like, take the contract, take the contract. Didn't even pay attention when I first took the contract. Anyway, right, I'll see you in a minute. Let's get the harvester up here and let's get some cotton harvesting done. I'm increasingly concerned now because we are in due. It all started off so well. I mean, I suppose we've got all of October and all of November for corn, sunflower, soybean, cotton. We haven't got any grapes or anything like that growing, or any of those things, grapes or olives, but okay. I decided if I can to take the back roads out of town, because this is a little bit wider and it'll take quite a bit, we can cut across the railroad tracks and then head up. Money's gone up a fraction. I just found another coin right outside. It was right next to the harvester by the store, and it said this should help with upgrades. But look, weeds. See what I mean? The one weeding contract that popped up and disappeared immediately. going to do some mechanical weeding. I've got weeds turned on, and I haven't had any contracts for them. Maybe over the course of the day I might get some more. I'm sure it was this one. Oh no, it's Field 3. I can't remember what he said now. I'm going to have to keep an eye out. Please give me another contract. Of course, there's this farm here, but this is 200 and something grand, I think, for this. You get a little bit of land with it as well. Maybe something we could build up to if we start our own farm and kind of get going. And then I'll stay, like I said, I'll stay in the motel. We'll think about. There are loads of cheap barns and buildings and things I can pick up. We'll have a look and see what's available and see if we can get a company to come out and build us a shelter. I can put my bale. I mean, the bales are wrapped, the silage bales. They're fine outside, but I shouldn't really be leaving them by the doodad, the cooperative silo. And what I could do as well then is take all of my crop types out. If I can get a silo built as well, take my crops out and store them in my own silo. That's the other thing I could do. Which, whoa, careful. Right, Vicon to go off. Shouldn't be anyone around. Let's unfold. Just thinking about that Jeep. That's how much they go for. I would imagine finding a really pristine old World War II Willys Jeep probably go for a fair bit, but if I can find a market price, a market value, and then I might offer him something for the Jeep, you know. We shall see. The other thing I want to do is turn on automatic drop. Come on. Turn on automatic drop. Cool. And make life a little bit easier. Oh, I still miss my side panel. Oh, every time PlayStation does an update, I think, wait, is this the one? Is this the? Have they done an update? Will it now work? Oh, it still baffles me. I know I said it when it first happened, and people still ask me, "Is it working yet? Have you got it to work?" I haven't. I am still almost 100% convinced it's something to do with Giant's coding, but it just. I know I said at the time. I'll say again. I'm going to put it out there. It's just a kind of positing, you know, thinking out loud with this, right? The logic behind it being that Sony on the PlayStation 5 closed off the port that enables the USB side panel to work, right? So they've done that on the PlayStation 5. Done. But if I play Farming Simulator 22, the PS4 version on PlayStation 5, so it's the PlayStation 5 console, but the PlayStation 4 version of the game, it works. If I play FS19 on my PlayStation 5, it works. But FS22, the PS5 version, won't. So either the port's closed off or it's not. Again, like I said, I'm no coder, I'm no computing expert. It just seems very weird to me. Why would you close it off for a specific game rather than I thought it's either it's closed off or it's not. It's probably far more complicated than that. I would imagine, you know, there's probably various different port things and port accesses and all stuff in the coding, all various different things. But it just seems odd to me, that's all. And it's weird, I've kind of got into the habit now since FS22 came out. Bearing in mind we're rolling into nearly a year. It came out in November, didn't it? So yeah, we're almost at a year. I mean, obviously September, October, but we're almost there. And I've kind of got used to not having it. But every now and again when I'm doing something like that, when I open up a menu, and I suddenly think, oh man, I missed my side panel. I'll do what I usually do, give myself some strips either end. I mean, these turn pretty much on, well, not on a dime, but they're pretty good for their turning circles. I don't know how many bales we're going to end up with off this field. Yeah, so I guess I'll do. I mean, what I've started to do now when I'm using trains after my first initial gaff, I think it's always better safe than sorry now as well. Before I send anything by train, I save it. And then if it doesn't go well, I can always go back to the previous save. I know it's not very immersive. I know that's kind of, you know, it's one of the things I struggle with the most when I'm doing an immersive, a semi-immersive Let's Play. You know, if I'm trying to do a storyline and I'm adding characters and character names in just to make it, you know, for me, more interesting as well. You know, I'm going somewhere. I like that. You know, but there's the other side of me that does mod reviews and stuff like that. That when I'm talking about something and why something's happening and why I'm doing it, it's hard to keep that immersion. And I do often say, you know, this vehicle has been supplied by such and such a company, such and such an engineering company, and I'll talk about the mod, because if I'm using something as well, I want to give them credit for, you know, for what I'm using it, because it's cool, or I'm using it to try it, or if I'm doing something like, say, for a particular reason, like saving before I send something off by train, and the same as saving something before I do any landscaping work. If you're new to the game, I still want to impart, not wisdom, but you know what I mean, just kind of tips and ideas and things that I'm trying, because that's kind of part of what I do too. So it's a tricky one. It's finding that balance, isn't it? So I've done it again. I mean, it looks fairly straightforward. It's that kind of, oh yeah, you know, it's a cotton harvester. But it's still going to take a while, and I'm going to be here for a few hours again. I know I am. But once I've got my own land, that was my rule, wasn't it? Once I've got my own land, does it count if I've just got land? I'm a landowner at that point. Do I need a building on it for that to count? Can I then hire workers? If I can afford to, can I hire workers if I've got my own land at that point? Is it good enough to be just a landowner, or do I need to be a farm owner? I suppose that's another big question, isn't it? I have to say, the equipment for this contract is fairly scarce. I thought I'd have more. Oh well. So, I'll see you later. There may be some clips, there may be some footage of the first unload or something like that. Who knows? We'll see. And then we'll see how many barrels we get. We'll take them over to the platform. We'll call a train, and then fingers crossed. I'll keep an eye on the contract situation. But the other thing we haven't checked as well, wait till I get to the end of the road, is today's. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do it now. Oh, the Kubota's still there. Oh, hang on. Fertilizer and lime spreader. 21,000. 50% off. It's a 9,000 litre, but I can extend it up to 14,000. The extension only had 250 on. Oh, there's another one, isn't there? That's only 1,375. That takes me to 23 grand for a 14,000 litre. Not bothered about wheel setup, spreader system. Oh, that has 8 grand on. Oh, we can start with that, can't we? It's difference between 12 and 18 metres, so at some point later on we could get that added on. What do you reckon? 23 grand? Is that worth? I'm spending all my money. I said I wasn't going to do this, didn't I? I need to get a barn, but if we do get any fertilising contracts come up, I don't need to borrow equipment then. I've got my own. That could pay dividends. I'm going to do it. Let's hope we make some okay money on this contract, because I also need a barn for my land, and I want to get that cheap. It's 11:22 in the morning. The cotton harvest is complete. Just over, it's over there. I've got 2 bales right next to each other. I panicked. I always try to make sure that I've got, I clear as much of the field as possible, because what can happen, you can end up with, if you just do all full bales, the last bale, there might not be enough to unload an unfinished bale, which means you're then left with crop you can't then sell. So what I did was unloaded an unfinished bale at 3/4. Then the next one I did full, and there was a little bit left. And I thought, okay, well the little bit left is going to be that bit I'm going to have to sacrifice. But it actually turned out it was 1/4 of the tank space, and it allowed me to unload it. So the 2 bales that are just over there actually make up 1 full bale. So I think we've got 6 or 7 bales, but I think 6 full bales, if that makes sense. But here's where we hit a snag. You know, I was saying earlier I thought we might have a problem with the train. I've been contacted by Niall, who works for the railroad. Niall does scheduling and delivery routes and all the various different transportation and things like that. The railroad will not transport the cotton bales. He just contacted me to let me know it had been put on the schedule that we were going to be loading up and we were going to be stopping the train, and it won't. They won't do it. So I did wonder whether that would be the problem. I much appreciate Noel contacting us and letting us know, because it would have been a nightmare if we'd have got it all loaded up and then found that wasn't the case. So here's the thing. I'm going to take all of this to the spinnery, which is the next best option, I think. We'll take it to the spinnery and we'll sell it. So here's the thing with that. I'm going to have to take a hit. I'm going to have to take a fine on the contract. What I've got to hope is, if I take this all to the spinnery and sell it, that I make enough money on the bales to cover what I'm going to get fined. I don't want to be out of pocket on this contract. If anything, I would like to be in pocket. That would be lovely. The other thing that happened while I was doing that, we had another contract pop up, and it's another baling one. But hold your horses. Normally I say, I've done silage bales before, you don't need to see it, but I'm going to do that probably the next episode. If we scroll up to field 33, it's the biggest one of all the fields we've had to do so far. Plus, we've got a Krona Big M450 for doing the mowing. We've got the Vermeer self-propelled baler for doing the baling. It's going to be awesome. So that's what we're going to do. And I think the bale collector is, because the Vermeer does round bales, I'm going to use that bale collector to go and collect all my round bales that I've got scattered around the place, and I'm going to put them over at our new plot of land as well. But like I said, that'll be the next episode. But I am going to use the tractor that comes with that contract. Actually, no, I don't need to, do I? I'm just thinking, no, because I can use this to sell. No, I don't need to. That's all right. I was going to say I can't complete this contract until I've put the bales in the spinnery, but I'm just going to sell them anyway. So I am, in effect, delivering them to the wrong place, but I don't have a choice. There's nothing we can do about it. So I'll take these first ones to the... yeah, I'll take the... I hope I just don't get fined for a ridiculous amount of money, because I will do for failing the contract. And we'll just have to see what happens. Fold that up, put that away. I don't want to catch that on the telegraph poles on the way through. Turn the lights off. Let's go to the spinnery. So we should just get this done in just over 2 full loads, which will be fine. It's my own fault. It's that thing I was kind of gauging how many runs up and down the field I'd done to get a full bale. I was looking at how much of the field I had left to do, and I thought, I'm not going to get another full bale. The end bale won't be a full bale. But I could have technically carried on and just unloaded the 3/4 bale, but like I say, I did panic, and as it turned out, it would have been a full bale, but it doesn't matter. It's just an extra bale to deliver. So yeah, we'll look at, for the next episode, I'm going to do a bit of scouring around to find what barns, buildings, shelters we've got available. And like I said, possibly a silo. I know there are plenty of silos that I can get. There's the Tana one that I use quite a lot. That's only £5 grand, and it will fit here really nicely. I'll probably go with that. I did think about going for like a proper grain bin, but then it means I've got to buy an auger to load it and unload it. Maybe moving forward we will, because some of the farms have got those types of bins, the flat bottom bins. But for the time being, just to put my stuff in, it doesn't take up a lot of space. You know, we'll probably go down that route. But again, that's not going to be this episode. I'll get this cotton harvest done. We'll sort out what's happening about the fine, get that paid, and I think that's probably where we're going this one. It's a bit of a drive up, which means we've got to come all the way up here because we've got to take that left fork up. Because they didn't show me doing the last silage harvest, and I should have done really because it was using bigger, newer equipment. This is the spinnery, so it should just be a case of backing up in front of there, I think. Problem I've got with this as well, if this has got a processing speed, I might not be able to unload them all. I just suddenly thought of that. Ah. Fingers crossed, I suppose. Okay, so we've got to remember we were sitting on 68,270. So once I've got all the bales delivered here, I've got to really hope that whatever the fine is doesn't take me back below 68,000. I mean, again, if it does, it's just one of those things. Now, I'm not sure if the scheduling, delivery, transport schedule, whatever it is going to get amended for the railroad. I would imagine if it does, it's going to be it's going to require a new save, isn't it? I was kind of hoping to avoid, really. Load of weeds in this field as well. Why am I not getting weeding jobs? Come on. I guess it'll be more relevant when I've got my own fields and I'm doing them, but it would be nice to do some. Since how long I've shied away from doing them. Right, see in a minute. We'll take the next load up, and then should be one final bale. We'll complete the contract or fail the contract and then see what happens. It's a roll of the dice at this point. So if you are farming in the area and you're thinking about doing cotton and it's telling you to deliver it to Mount Vernon, Illinois, you may need to go down this route, at least for the time being, or avoid it like the plague. It's up to you. We'll see what happens. We'll see what the result is first, and that can guide you as to whether or not you're going to avoid it like the plague. We've got loads of sunflower seeds and loads of cornfields, sunflower seeds, sunflower fields. So hopefully, as we move through October and into November, we should get some of those contracts come up as well. Now I know I'm going contract heavy, and thank you to everyone who's been commenting. And if there's not really a lot else. No, damned if you do, damned if you don't. If I didn't do contracting, but I put stuff in to make the storyline better, I'm cheating. I could have come over here from Western Wilds with a ton of money because I made millions on there, and I could have arrived here with $1 million in the bank, but I didn't want to go down that route. I wanted to have a go at, doing it all, proper like. I was thinking actually as I was coming down to deliver these next load, the reason for doing this, obviously because of the fact I'm going to have to fail the contract, but whilst technically I'm failing the contract, what I'm hoping is the spinnery here will arrange shipping of the cotton off to Mount Vernon, Illinois, so it will get delivered, just not by me. I think that's probably the best way of putting it. Oh no, now we're in trouble. It's full. So what I've got to do now, we're up to 253,000. If I bring the last bale up here and leave it here, it will gradually take these as it processes, I think. Bale doesn't seem to be losing any size. And then hope that we might just have to stack them by the side out of the way and then sell them at a later date. But like I say, take the hit, hope the fine Doesn't bring me down too low. That's all I can do. That's all I can do. It'll get shipped. Right. I was worried that would happen. So the only problem with delivering to production chains, unfortunately, is they have a capacity. When you hit that capacity, then you're in trouble. The last bale has been delivered and put to one side. The bale that's on the sell point at the moment, it is gradually working its way down because the money is going up by like $1 every now and again. So it is obviously chugging away. I'm going to take this back to the store and then we'll complete on the contract. At the store, we've got all the stuff for the baling contract. Like I said, we're going to do the next episode. We're going to do some big boy baling because it's big boys' toys. Some really cool stuff. But like I say, that'll be the next episode. So, yeah, we'll see what happens now. There are still 3 bales. They're not complete bales. One of them's complete. Was it? I'm trying to think now. They might just all be partials, but all we can do is roll the dice and see what happens. And then, yeah, we'll do that. We'll do the baling because we should have bales left again on that one potentially. That's one thing. Oh no, we don't need a windrower, do we? We can set the Chrono Big M on swathing. I started to get the fent came with. That's a big old fent with the wrapper. We turn in just here, you'll see we've got the Vermeer self-propelled baler, we've got the Chrono Big M, and we've got the bale loader. We'll have a look at our gear as well. If we're going to move stuff over, we'll have a look in the next episode at what we're going to do on our plot of land. I'm just thinking if I can use that, because that does round bales, to grab the 2 that are there, and then the ones that I've got, the 9 and 9 I've got elsewhere, and we'll bring them down and put them on our plot. And then we'll sort out at some point removing the square bales as well. But I'm looking forward to using that. That'd be cool. So now the moment of truth. We need to cancel. I will lose all payment. Failed. Oh man. Missing crops. Oh no, hang on though. 111,945. That's going to leave me short now, but I've still got the bales over there. It's going to leave me short by quite a bit, isn't it? What were we on? 68,270. Oh man, that's rubbish. So, we're down by 27 grand. I've got to hope those bales over there, when the spinnery chugs through, and we sell the bales that are over there, that brings us back up to our 68. There's nothing else we could do. That was our only option really. So yeah, not how I was hoping it was going to go. I was hoping we'd have some spare. I mean, it might take us a little bit over the 68. If it does, great. As it stands at the moment, I'm not sure that it will, but like I say, we haven't got a choice. So in the next episode we'll get on and we'll give all these a crack. We'll get the mower up there first. Then we'll get the Vermeer up there. Looking forward to using that in anger. Then we'll do the wrapping, we'll do the collecting, we'll see if we get any left over. If we have, we'll add those to the collection, building quite a silage bale empire. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.